their superdelegate election or conference slated for August 26 at the regional level. So it will be across all 16 regions. After more than 4 hours of meeting, the council then settled on the decision despite 9 of the presidential aspirants and other supporters earlier kicking against the supposed decentralized system of voting.
Successful meeting. The National Council, which is clothed with the power to determine the venue and date for our presidential primaries, by majority decision decided that the special delegates college should be held at the various regions in line with what happened in 2014. So basically that was the decision of National Council. Then again also National Council constituted a committee, elections committee, to supervise the presidential primaries, which is chaired by Professor Michael Kwe. One of the key points that was raised at National Council was that it does not even matter if all the 10 aspirants had signed that they wanted it to be held at one venue. Still, National Council would have still gone ahead to take its own decision. So it's not the aspirant who will determine venue for election. It's the National Council that determines. Yes, you can make a request, but the request can be accepted or rejected. But at the end of the day, even the petitioners, those who supported and those who are against, we're all happy that the process was fair. We allowed everyone to vent his proposal. But at the end of the day, the National Council has decided, and we all gladly accept and willing to abide by the decision of National Council. And then we also talked about the album verification exercise. The National Council also made it clear to the aspirants that the album verification is an internal exercise by the party. It's not because one is contesting for presidential primaries. That's why we are doing the verification. It's also to make sure that as a party we have a credible voter or album register for even the presidential primary and the parliamentary primaries. Every person who is entitled to vote will have his or her picture in the album, and that is what will be given to the aspirants.
And that's Justin Kodia, the General Secretary of the ruling NPP, and it's very apt. Now it's going to be decentralized. The other candidates and their support, though perhaps maybe aggrieved, they'll have to take it hook, line, and sinker, right? But perhaps shouldn't their issues have been considered?
The issues were considered. You know, the party has a structure. The National Council is the second, if you like, decision-making body was in the party. And our party constitution is very clear. It tells you who is responsible for coming up with rules, regulations, procedures for conducting internal elections. That particular power, I mean, if you listen to the General Secretary, it was very clear that that power sits with the National Council, right? And in a democratic environment, yes, you give an opportunity to people to prefer divergence in how these processes should happen. But once National Council decides, that's what it is. And I think that, you know, I always keep saying this, you cannot pick and choose aspects of
what you like,
you don't like. And if you choose to be part of a political party or an organization that is governed by rules and regulations, then, I mean, the least you can do is to abide by these things, even regardless of what you feel about it personally. So as far as I'm concerned, there's no challenge there. I would also say that, I mean, as we go along, I mean, if for one reason or the other there needs to be a review, it can happen, but it happened in 2014, and as far as I'm concerned, that is the precedence that National Council decided to go by. Some arguments were made as to why it should be centralized. I mean, I think the general consensus was that there's nothing wrong with going by the precedents that have been set before. And so for me, I think that those aspirants would have to take it in good faith and go back to do their campaigns and hope that, I mean, it all gets well for them. I mean, I don't see any big deal with the issues. You know, sometimes when these things happen, especially in internal context, there's a certain sensationalism that comes with it. You know, people exaggerate the issues. But I mean, if you do your campaign I honestly don't see the difference between a centralized and
Centralized and
decentralized system. On a personal level, I think that even maybe this is one of the things that a party should look into. This superdelegate thing, at a personal level, I'm not sure I like it too much. You know, I think that we did that because of the 17 aspirants back in 2007. But maybe once we get an opportunity to review some of these processes, maybe we should relook at it and see if it's democratic, you understand? Because truth of the matter is that you have a small group of people going to make a choice of 5 for the general electorate. You know, so if you're talking about it in the strict sense of being representative and democratic, I have a small challenge with that. But again, as a party person, I mean, you still have to abide by those rules until you go to national.
The delegates list for the super delegates, how many? Approximately.
It's been updated, but the persons who are super delegates is known. So the National Council members themselves, members of Parliament, former National Executive, the sitting president, the Council of Elders and Patrons. I think you have a chairman from each constituency and all that. So I think roughly in 2014, it was around 900 approximately. It shouldn't be too far away from that, talking about founding members. So
and then the bigger one is what?
Oh, that's
how many?
230,000 or so.
230,000 we have. Okay, so the National Council, the National Executive Committee, the Regional Executive Committees, National Council of Elders, members of Parliament, 3 representatives of each of the special organs of the party, past national officers, 3 representatives from each external branch, founding members during the registration of the party at the Electoral Commission, and then also all new Patriotic Party card-bearing ministers. When the party is in government, every delegate shall be entitled to 1 vote. Now, these individuals, Mr. Maliba, they are super delegates, and what's your own observation from the sidelines so far?
Well, by me, I knew from day one that the 9 contestants were not going to have their way. You know, if the establishment led by the president is not on your side.
What do you mean by that?
Well, Roland, you should have let Amaliba
comment
on this matter because they don't even understand. India, they've never had a proper presidential primary before. Have you seen a presidential primary?
You're trying to compare
in NDC before?
No,
you won't understand. Even this last one that they did.
I don't think your comments are healthy. I don't think so.
I mean, he can't. He doesn't understand presidential.
No.
Because he's talking about.
You are saying they never held them.
No, but he's talking about establishment.
Then it means none of us around this table understand it. If that is what you're saying.
Right. No, I'm referring to him.
No, you can't.
Did you have a presidential primary?
Eric.
No fights. Yes.
Eric. No, Eric is my good friend.
It
will be difficult for me
today
to fight.
I know your element.
No, Eric is difficult. I can't. If it were my son, then that would be a difference. Which one? My son, Eric, Miraculous Abuaje. You see, I'm telling you that the influence and the authority that Nanado wields on the NPP, you have no idea. If it's not on the side of any agenda, forget it. Look, 97 MPs wanted the finance minister out. Did they succeed? Let alone 9 people. Look, the 9 people had a good cause. They are saying that, look, because the status quo was almost whipping everybody in line, whipping ministers, whipping MPs, and then even whipping DCEs, it was not going to be proper to decentralize these elections. They cited that in some regions you only have 27. And it was going to be possible for people who voted against the establishment to be identified. And they gave some examples of how people currently have suffered. I don't know if he's one of them because he has suffered in this administration. You know? So,
they say it's not true.
So people who were identified in Ashanti region, MPs, I'm told, in the 2014 or so, no, the one that Akufo-Addo won, clearly were punished and victimized by this administration, by Nana Akufo-Addo. So they didn't want a repeat of that. They also said that because the numbers are also few, it's going to be a waste carrying security men, carrying ballot boxes to those areas. Just come, let them come and be at a centralized place. But this is not fine. This is not fine space with the status quo. And so, at the end of the day, when they went for their congress yesterday, the status quo, which is solidly behind Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia, won the day. In fact, my ears, were people in there. What they told them was that, this is just the special delegates, and that at least it's just above, it's 5. So the problem ones definitely will be in the 5. That's what they told them. And that, as for the other one, then because there will not be a possibility of being able to control the people, you can now have it. So when they told them this, they succumbed. So I'm not surprised. Once the president was not on their side, forget it. You notice that Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia himself did not speak about whether he wanted it here or there. It was only his spokesperson, Kabiru, who was kicking against it. But the status quo, the entire chain, and the president feels that he's safer under Mahmoud Bawumia. And so he's whipping everybody in line.
You spoke to the president?
Oh, no, but the president knows that his administration is up for investigations, serious investigations. And he can only enjoy his retirement if Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia comes in. Because some of the deals were all done together. So it will be difficult for Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia to be going against him.
I should make him withdraw.
Come on.
He said he should withdraw.
Which one?
The deals. What do you mean by deals?
You see, when you do this,
deals like, let me tell you.
No,
let me tell you. No.
It's okay, it's okay. It's a Friday, please. Please conclude for me.
It's a Friday. Fridays, we don't spill this.
You are known for doing things on Friday.
Roland, a party like the NPP that claims to be a very democratic party, I don't understand this super delegates thing. Give everybody the chance.
It has a history from 2007.
Irrespective. Give everybody the chance to stand. Why? Why do you want to cut it down?
So 200 and something thousand you come and sit
It doesn't matter.
That's the power of General Mosquito.
It doesn't matter. You see,
General Mosquito described
the way to cure it is to do effective education within the party. That's the way to cure it. Because definitely, somebody standing somewhere would find problems with the super delegates. Somebody standing somewhere will find a problem with it. And then after, if I am part of it and I have been sidelined, definitely, I'll also find ways and means of also doing my something in there to stop others. I felt, leave it open. 9, let's all go. Let them vote. May the best person win. I don't understand the super delegates. It doesn't work.
You think it's undemocratic?
It is undemocratic.
But the Americans have the electoral college system.
Wait. So, if these, forget America, we are talking Ghana. So, if some are taken off, will they pay their money back to them?
No.
Will the money that they paid, and how much was it? 350,000. Will it be paid back to them? No, it won't. It won't.
I think the parties use that as resource mobilization.
The party should find, political parties in Ghana should find better ways
We're not
of resourcing the parties, not delegates money. If you go and, there's a situation there that would now get you out, they should pay your money back to you. Those they are 9, eh?
Yes.
They are 10. So they're doing away with 5. Those 5 who they do away with.
No, the thing was that it was only one candidate's camp or team that liked the status quo.
Yes.
What the
but
norm
that
was.
is that is
Which
not that
one-
is
which one
not
was
it's not
that?
it's not
That's
true.
Mahmoud
It's not true.
It's
You see,
Mahmoud, yeah.
Oh.
it is
Because
not
his
it is not
spokesperson-
true.
Okay.
His
The
spokesperson-
vice
You see,
forget
I'm
about
saying
Where
that
ending,
his
where
Listen,
ending.
it is not true.
His
No, but
spokesperson-
can I- can I-
Wait,
can I- can I-
wait, no,
can I-
Kabiru
can I-
spoke against
No,
it.
but I haven't finished.
Okay,
I haven't
so
finished.
I'll wait.
Kabiru spoke against it.
Please wrap up for me. Eh?
Look, there is definitely, or there could be definitely some underhand things going on. And it is no rocket science to know that the president has a hold on the party. Even commentators who come on programs like this, after you finish talking to them,
They'll assess you.
do they not say things? The president has a hold on the party, and he'll make sure that it goes the way he wants to. But the difference here is that I go into the polling booth to vote on my own. So no matter how you whip me into line, when I get in there, the one I want to vote for, I'll vote for. So let's see. Definitely, there are going to be surprises. Definitely.
At the bigger stage.
Both. There are going to be surprises.
All right. Thank you very much.
That's
for
the
coming.
style of
And you see,
That's how the president-
and you see, the thing is, they should be very mindful who they choose, because the person they choose, can that person also win the country? That is the key question.
You mean can that person appeal to voters across
Can
the
the
country?
person they choose win the country also? That's the key.
That's the present style of
Yes.
governance. To have control over institutions, state institutions, and all those things. And you see, at the point, they now want to, because they can't have control over the human beings,
Abraham,
Ghanaians, they now started that, after the human beings, let's
My
pay
time
them
is
money.
up. My
Let's
time
pay
is
them
up.
money. Let's pay them money.
My
Let's
ti-
pay
my-
them
my-
money.
my time is
and that failed in as enough.
My time is up. You wanted
So-
to conclude?
Yeah, so I said there's nowhere
Abraham,
that there's no indication that
Drink water.
the vice president
It's a Friday.
had a position on the matter of decentralization or centralized. And if you said that
Kabiru, yes,
was
speaks for
making a statement, I don't even
Speaks for
understand. The person who speaks for the vice president is Gideon Buako.
Oh, no.
Everybody knows that. Am I lying? You understand? So that position is erroneous. You shouldn't do that.
All right. All right. So I have this one from Mo Ajamanyame. He says, I like how the NPP rep, the Honorable Amwakuchum, has objectively pointed out his view against the special voting process. It cuts out and crowds out people in the democratic process, and it's unfair. There will be somebody in Kumasi or Ejiso who wants somebody else but will not get the opportunity to vote for him at the main delegates conference. Is that what you wanted to say? And then also have this one from Guy G, Cantonment Accra. He says, Roland, the factors that influenced decentralized level of voting in 2014 were that the party was in opposition and there was inadequate resources to organize a centralized election. The decision was welcomed by many party members. Centralized election would have ensured the following advantages which were lacking in 2014 in the Super Electoral College. 1. Proper supervision by all aspirants. 2. The integrity of the election outcome. 3. Operational efficiency and strategic effectiveness. 4. Party cohesion and unity of purpose, among others. Guy G, Cantonment Accra. Guy G, good morning to you. Great guy. Mystic Wonder, inside Adwejuri, inside Adwejuri. No weapon fashioned against the IGP should prosper. Okay, I've read your message. Now this one from Dr. Akum Imboku says, Kusi or whoever he is called is a big and must be dealt with according to the laws of Ghana. I can, you can say it, I can say it. I'm highly disappointed for the fact that he claims to be a reverend. Some of these so-called pastors are using the Bible as curtain for Dr. Akum Boku. And then also lawyer Kakre Samoa. I'm baffled by the NPP rep's position. That is Mr. Amwakuchum. According to him, he doesn't answer for Kusi Boateng, but seeks to make us understand the alleged prudence of Kusi Boateng in publicly using two totally different identities. Is he also double-faced? You have two identities. I have this one from Mr. Moke, who says, Roland, Who is a diplomat? Is a cathedral someone's personal project or is for the state? So we decided to have it and want it. To me, the National Cathedral is not a national project. Lawyer Janto's father has been a diplomat before. That is why he is right on the question. I'm getting great accolades this morning. Edwin Tamaklo sent me this. He says, imagine that John Mahama's executive secretary wrote a letter approving the issuance of a diplomatic passport for a person with double identities. Professor Lumumba puts it succinctly. He's a thief, but we like him like that because he's our kinsman, in quotes. This quote, so I'm able to say this. Now, this one is from Jerry. He says, ask Mr. Mwakuchum if diplomatic passports are given to people without any due diligence, especially when those two names have different mothers and different date of birth. Let me add that as well. This one for Money Need Money. If NPP wants, they should make all of the aspirants the flag bearers. They are still not going to compete in 2020. All right, let me go on to the stream, read a couple. Prince Henry Kofodia, I've seen your message. Dr. Baumia is loved by ministers, MPs, MMDCs, among others, not because they were whipped into line, but because of his competence and loyalty. He will surely be the next president of Ghana. Master Planner Junior Kintampo. Now, Joe Bana says, Roland, let those politicians know that the happenings in this country concerning the blatant disregard of our constitution by the political elite of this country is duly noted. Thank you for those. So I have other messages. Buaka Goswe, Osman, Al-Hassan, Amama Gold. Good morning.
Read Osman's own.
Osman Al-Hassan. I'm not Edu Jemfi or Victor Kusi Boating. If I was going to write a book, that would have been my title. Why did you decide to read this one?
Because I know him.
But thank you very much. All of you who give us the message, thank you very much. All right, so I've enjoyed the morning, but we have a bigger conversation. Can we put the entertainment slide on the screen so that we'll get to know?
Why are you saying this one is a small conversation?
No.
Another bigger.
Another bigger. Thank you for the phrase for my lexicon this morning. Today you've been light, so that's nice. Mr. Makuchu, please be coming on Friday and make it on Fridays. Mr. Makuchu, please be coming on Fridays.
I bring calmness in the show. Yeah?
No, because you are loved by everybody. All right, so artist relations with managers and their promoters is what Belamundi is discussing with industry players. You find artists, they are discovered not fully signed on because, you know, they are minnows or amateurs. And by the time they start getting limelight and the accolades, they just abscond from their discoveries, if I can put it that way, their managers and their promoters. Why do we have that? You know, is there no agreement? What should be done and duly? So make sure you join us for that. We have other conversations as well right here on the channel. We're taking a break. Well, we'll be next with this discussion as well as the latest updates in sports.